Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good day and welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have you here on this Friday, the 11th of September, 2020. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you guys what. Doom's coming. And I'll tell you how I see things playing out. Now, this is just my opinion of what's going to happen in the future, in the very near future. I think we're heading toward an economic recovery of sorts. Not a beautiful economic recovery like everything's booming and everything. No, but better than we have now. Things are going to pick up a little bit. I think what you're going to see is, over the next, probably by spring, you're going to see this virus starting to taper off out there. Fear is going to start to go away. And that's the biggest thing that's holding back any sort of economic recovery we have now is fear. People are staying away. They're staying away from flying. They're staying away from cruise ships. They're staying away from the mall. They're staying away. The big key word here is staying away. And you know what they're doing with their money? A lot of them are paying off their credit cards and stuff. You know, when they pay off debt, that's the worst thing that you can do for the economy. This economy is based on debt, so the more debt people take out, the more money people take out, the more they spend, the better the economy picks up. So what's going to happen when people start to feel that relief, like, oh, I can go now, I can go to the mall or whatever, and I don't have to worry so much anymore, and the virus is disappearing, and people are going on cruises again now, and why would that be so bad? Why would that lead to doom? I just don't see it. I don't see how you're putting that together with being a doom scenario. Well, I'll explain to you guys why. Right now, people are paying off their credit cards. They're scared. They're saving their money. They're keeping it in the bank. They're doing everything that they think they should be doing in an economic crisis. And they're worried. But when they start to see everything starting to open back up, there's new jobs starting to come out and everything, and the economy starts to pick up a little bit, people are going to relax again. It's going to feel good. It's going to start to spend again. I'll explain to you why this is so bad. Is the amount of money that they've produced, the central banks have produced through this crisis, have went into liquidity traps in the bank. A lot of it. And, you know, the banks are not really lending right now or anything, you know. So this economic recovery comes along, say sometime next year. Say it really gets going by next summer. Things start to perk along. The velocity of money is going to start to pick up. People are going to be relaxed again. They're going to be spending money again. There's going to be people want to buy things again, and there's going to be a shortage of supply of an awful lot of items that you want to buy. First off, prices are going to go up, start going up on almost all merchandise, everything that you'd think of that you want to buy, because we got demand and we got shortage of supply, which is two drivers of price. It's going to work the same way with food and everything else. Travel, tourism, everything else. You're going to want to book a flight. There's not going to be very many flights. So everybody's going to have to book on the same flight. And there's going to be a high demand. So airplane companies will put the price up on the tickets because of the high demand. You're going to see everything across the board. Hotel rooms going to be the same way. A lot of hotels are going to still be closed. Or bankrupt. Because right now it's bankrupting them. So you're going to have fewer choices. So the one motel that's still open, he's going to be flooded with customers. So what do the people do? What does a hotel do when all of a sudden he's flooded with customers? Well, he jacks the price up. Okay? The banks are going to start to see new places that new opportunities. People are going to want to open up a new business because the hotel, that last hotel that was open, he's full of customers, so some new guy's going to come in. He's going to say, well, that hotel next door that went bankrupt, I'm buying it. I'm going to open it up. I need a loan from the bank. The bank says, sure. The economy starts to heat up again. Okay, you're starting to get the picture? But so does the velocity of money. Nobody's scared anymore. Right now, fear is what's really pushed this economy down. All the way across the board. It's fear that's done this. The fear will be gone. Once that dark, looming cloud has been lifted, things will start perking along. Well, you say again, you're saying to me, this don't sound like doom. Why is it doom? It's doom because this is the beginning of the crack-up boom. This will be the beginning of sky-high prices on these commodities like gold, silver, cryptocurrencies. Because we're really going to see what we've been talking about for years. We're going to see the inflation start. The inflation is like a fire that can't be put out. It's like an electrical fire. You dump water on it, an electrical fire will explode. Because water is a conductor. And that's the way with this economic recovery. If they continue to dump money on it, and they've already dumped enough for the hyperinflation, why this is going to be it's going to be the lead-in, the open-in. It's called the acceleration phase. That's what it's called. This economic recovery is going to be the acceleration phase for something that's a monster, that the Federal Reserve and all of the other central banks can't fight against. They have a tool to fight against it. Paul Volcker, back in the 1970s, did use the tool to fight against it. And the tool is to jack interest rates up sky high. But, you know, back in the 1970s, this is going to be a worse. This is a more powerful inflationary event than the one in the 1970s. And Paul Volcker had to jack the interest rates up to like 20%. Do you think that they could possibly jack the interest rates up to even 20% today? Now, with such a powerful inflation coming and weakness in the dollar, they would have to jack the interest rates up to 40% to stop it. They can't even go above, they can't go above 1%. Because they can't service the debt. So they're trapped. They're trapped, and they have no tools this time. Absolutely no tools to fight a heating up, overheating inflation. And, you know, they kind of know this, and this is kind of why they're saying, okay, we're going to let inflation run a little bit above 2%. This is the biggest joke in the world, guys. This is the big joke. That inflation is going to stop at 2%. Or that it's even 2% right now. Right now, it's already above 2%. This is the biggest joke on earth. So this inflation, what's it going to do? And why does this spell doom? Well, because it keeps accelerating. And after it comes for a little while, people start to lose confidence in the purchasing power of their money. So people start to say to themselves, well, times are good now again. The virus is gone. Joe across the street, he just bought a new car, Martha. And, you know, they're only going to be higher price next year. I'm going to go out and buy a new car, too. And so this leads to more inflation. The more there's a shortage of supply of items, and the more people want to purchase those items, they're standing in line to purchase them, the more the merchant sits back there and he rubs his fat little hands together. He says, oh boy, jack the prices up on those, jack the prices up on those, jack the prices up on those. All merchants think the same way. What I've discovered is, in some of my travels around, you know, what I've discovered is merchants will charge what the people who are buying are able to bear. And they have an uncanny ability to be able to sort that out and figure out what's the maximum people will be able to bear price-wise. You know? And they'll charge that. So if you're in a poor country where the people are all poor and they don't have any money, the merchants will still sell to them, but they'll sell to them at a reduced price. But if you're living in a mining community where the miners are making like $50,000 a week and they're all going around with bags of money in their pockets, you'll find the merchants will all take advantage of that. Every little can of pop will be $5. Every little sandwich will be like $10. You know? But you move to a real poor country where the people only make $2 a day, And you'll find the same sandwiches more on a cheaper price range because they'll price it compared to what people can pay. And in this case, what you're looking at is a society where we're going to get runaway inflation. And that's the doom. The doom is the end game of the runaway inflation is going to lead to a wealth transfer. And at the very final stage of this, it runs away really fast because everybody panics and wants to get out at the same time. And they want to get into something that's stable and going in the opposite direction. In other words, going up in value. So that wealth transfer is the final end game, and it is the doom, because what happens is there'll be a transfer period where an awful lot of people out there who were once wealthy will suddenly find themselves becoming poor because they were invested in the thing that's going down. In other words, the dollar. They're all in for the dollar. They'll find they're suddenly becoming poor, while a new middle class, new upper class will start to emerge, where the people who were on the right side of the trade. You see? But during that scramble, that last little bit goes really quick. It causes chaos. And that chaos, in a modern day society, we're not set up to handle chaos. They've set this society up in a way where the way we're structured now is we have so many interdependencies. Like, we're dependent upon just-in-time delivery, and we're dependent upon the internet. We've made ourselves completely dependent. And the way society used to be structured, like a couple hundred years ago, the power could go out for 6 months and nobody even knows because there wasn't any power. You know, I mean, things were structured altogether differently. We had small farms, and we always had small farms up until a certain point in history, until the Industrial Revolution led to these big monstrosities, these big farms that dot the countryside, and they stretch for miles. One farm might go so far you can hardly see the wheat fields might be so expansive they might look like the ocean. That's the kind of farms we have today, you know. Whereas there was a time when the farms were all small, like 10 acres, 5 acres, and that kind of a system where you have all these diversified little farms is practically indestructible. So if you get a massive upheaval in society, something like a crack-up boom like we're going to experience now, what it would do is it wouldn't have such a permeating effect upon the food supply and things like that. It wouldn't have a carryover effect where it could shut down just-in-time delivery and things like that. And that's the doom part. The doom part is we're probably looking at a couple months there when the transition occurs, when the value of the money loses value so fast that all the wealth that's been stored in that money is transferred over into another asset class. And it causes a great disruption that actually probably shuts the system down worldwide for maybe a month or two, or partially shuts the system down worldwide. It could be a full shutdown, or it might be a partial shutdown, but it's still going to be an awful period of turmoil that's going to last for probably 7 months while this is all reset. It's basically the wealth transfer and the reset are simultaneous, practically simultaneous. Because as soon as the currency becomes valueless and the wealth transfer occurs, they're going to create some sort of a new currency. And in order to give it value, they're going to have to attach that currency then to something of value, like gold or silver or cryptocurrencies or something that has value, actual value. Because these fiat currencies, the way they've been set up, and the way they're structured to fail. They're structured to lose 100% of their value. So it's when that transfer occurs and the reset occurs, that's going to be the period of turmoil. And the way our system is structured, we're not really arranged so that we can handle that without it being a massive So now the next question you guys should be asking is, when was this transfer, this wealth transfer occur and the reset occur? It occurs toward the end of the hyperinflation, because there's no other direction that they can turn. And, you know, they'll probably be in a digital dollar by then, and it'll be losing value so fast that it's gonna be scary. So the reset's just gonna be them switching from that digital currency to another digital currency, but the new digital currency will be backed by something of value, probably gold. That's what I'm thinking. And it's during that shift from the old digital currency that's become valueless to the new digital currency that does have value. It's during that shift you guys want to have all your bills paid, because toward the end of that hyperinflation, you want to get everything paid off. No owe anybody anything. Because when they shift over, the bankers are going to really give you guys they're going to they're going to really mess you up. Let's just put it this way. When they transfer over from the old digital currency to the new digital currency, they'll transfer what you owe, your debts, will be transferred over into the new currency that does have value. And you won't have a hope in a prayer. You won't have a prayer to pay your debts off then if you wait too long. So you want to get them paid off while the dollar's weakening. During this weakening period, when we get this little bit of we're coming into this period, probably in about 6 months from now, where we're going to have this little economic recovery. That's the period you want to get all your debts paid off. While the dollar's weak and weaker and weaker and weaker, it'll allow you, or should allow you, some opportunity to get all your debts paid off. Or try to. Because when we hit the end of that, the bankers are never going to let you guys off the hook, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. You think, well, hyperinflation's coming, the bank's going to erase my debt. No, they're not going to erase your debt. They're just going to transfer it over into the new digital currency that comes along toward the end of the hyperinflation. And then you'll be really stuck, because that'll be exceedingly, it'll be a crusher to anybody who's still in debt, who owes money to them. So get it paid off during this period. Well, listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.